find harmony and work-life balance? Join Coach AnnaJo as she shares practical strategies, empowering mindsets, and inspiring stories to live the life you want to lead on AnnaJo Talks, Work Life for Badasses. Now, here's your host, Coach AnnaJo.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of AnnaJo Talks, Work Life for Badasses. I'm Coach AnnaJo, and I'm here to challenge the myth of balance and find real harmony in modern life. Today's episode, I have a special guest, one amazing woman, a leader, a coach with 25 plus years of experience of corporate HR in the tech world, a mom, a wife, a true badass with amazing stories to share with you. Here, Banu Tomruk. Hello, Banu. How are you?
Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here. But before we kick off this interview and this episode today, I would like to read your bio so all our listeners know about you. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to read in detail the bio from Banu Tomruk. Banu is the founder of Ascend, a career coaching company that's been years in the making and deeply personal to her. A former global HR and certified professional coach, Banu is dedicated to helping individuals and organizations thrive in complex, dynamic environments. Born and raised in Turkey, she has lived and worked across Europe and the US, bringing a multicultural perspective and deep expertise in mentoring professionals from diverse backgrounds. She holds an MBA from the University of Leicester, which deepened her strategic and cross-cultural business insight. With over 25 years of experience in HR leadership at the Fortune 100 tech companies and startups, Banu has seen firsthand how challenging it can be to navigate a career, feel seen, and believe you're enough. As a Muslim, an immigrant, a parent, and a leader, she has faced this challenge herself and emerged stronger. Coaching has been part of Banu's life for over 15 years, and with her son, she's transforming that passion into something bigger. A space where professionals, especially from the next generation, can design intentional and meaningful careers, and where women can step into rooms without leaving parts of themselves behind. Today, she's fully dedicated of helping individuals rise through empathy, cultural intelligence, and human-centered approach. Here we are. We have Banu Tomruk here. Hello, Banu. Come on, look at the bio, right? Could we go over and over to tell who you are? The amazing and badass guest we have here. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you, Anna, so much for inviting me to your podcast. And thank you, everyone, joining live or watching the replay. I'm truly honored to be in the spotlight this July. My hope is that in this conversation, it will inspire you to carry one thing forward with you or let go of one thing you're ready to leave behind.
Yes. All right, but before we dive into these nuggets of wisdom that you bring today here at the AnnaJo Talks Work Life for Badasses, I would like to ask your first question, which is would you share your story about your journey with us, starting from the point to where you want to, okay?
I love that. Okie doke. So here we go. Like you said in my intro bio, I lived many chapters: a corporate leader, a coach, immigrant, mother, mentor, creator. What's carried me through every chapter is that I've always bet on myself and listened to my gut, even when the odds weren't obvious. So all my life, I felt like there was something more, like I quite didn't belong, at least not fully. So I lived in this traditional Muslim household, secular, modern, but yet they asked me to be obedient, quiet, and small. And between the ages of 11 and 18, I went to an American school, and where I was taught to be bold, speak my own voice, and like be myself, be a badass. So when I'm outside of that, environment, I had to fight for everything, even when it was very small. So what I had to do was I grew up connecting these two worlds, the Western boldness and the traditional expectations from me. And I did this at the cost of shrinking myself to fit in. So that's why I think that's where my resilience really was born and how it's kind of shaped my core. So later in corporate world, that resilience really took me far. I worked in Fortune 100 companies, often in being the only woman in a boardroom full of men, and to be seen, to be taken seriously. I felt like I had to blend in, be like them. So what I did was I adapted. I changed my reality. I changed my style. I started wearing more masculine tones and mirroring their communication styles and even wearing power suits. And that helped me because I learned how to be strategic and I was able to blend in. But it only helped me to survive. It helped me to be heard, stay in those rooms, even get promotions. But I wasn't thriving. I was just surviving because I was shrinking, adapting. There were two pivotal moments in my life that crack open that space for me. The first one was I was working for the cultural section of the British Embassy in Turkey when we were assigned a new attaché, a woman, for the very first time in that role, and it's a big thing. So for days, we prepared for this introductory meeting with the team, and she would be addressing the entire staff and introduce herself. And back then, there's no LinkedIn, there's no ChatGPT, there's no Google, so you can't really ask, who's this person? What does she look like? How to prepare for the meeting. I had no idea what to expect, so I built in this image in my mind. So someone sharp, someone commanding and serious, and likely in a dark suit. And then she walked in. And yes, she was sharp. And yes, she was powerful and commanding. But oh my God, she was larger than life itself. She was wearing this beautiful, vibrant, flowery dress. I was stunned. The contrast between my expectations and her presence was so striking for me. And then she began her speech. She was confident and clear and strong, but also warm, relatable. And she spoke very openly about the fact that she was new to the culture, she's never been in a Muslim country, and that she asked for our support. And that vulnerability as a leader, it just shocked me again in the best way possible. And then came the moment that changed everything. So the town hall ended, the leadership team stayed behind, everybody left. People were introducing themselves and talking about who they are, what they do, etc. And then she suddenly noticed that she had a chipped nail. Without hesitation, she reached into her bag, pulled out a nail file, and casually filed her nail in the middle of the conversation. I was literally speechless.
Yes.
That morning of her owning her space, her power, her full self with so unapologetically became the turning point for me. Because up until that stage, I was thinking, okay, in order to be successful, you need to be masculine, you need to be manly, you need to be like that and blend in. And there was this incredible, powerful contrast. So she showed me what authenticity in leadership could look like. She later became my mentor, helped me discover that I had actually a knack and a passion for HR. She encouraged me to pursue an MBA, and I got an MBA, which was focused in employee relationships. So it helped me build my HR career. Without even realizing, she shaped the future course of my whole life. And she may not know it, but she's my hero.
Oh my God. And
And
she did that because she was doing by herself, right? So like acting in her authentic self. Something
absolutely,
you
she
like,
wasn't trying to teach me anything. She was
yeah,
being herself.
yeah, yeah.
The second one came actually when I was selected for an executive MBA when I was in this tech company. And so, as part of the program, we got assigned a coach. And I didn't even know what coaching was or what to expect from the sessions, but just went in anyways. And after a few sessions and seeing the impact in my life, what I came to realize was until that time, life was happening to me. And I either celebrated the good or fixed the bad, but I was reactive and I was never truly in the driver's seat.
Mhm.
Coaching changed that for me. It showed me that with A, having a meaningful career, and B, being more active rather than reactive and intentional,
Mhm.
I could actually build the future. I could change the future and own the future and not deal with the consequences.
Mhm.
Well, I would if I needed to, but
Mhm.
at least be in the driver's seat and take command. And that's what I did. I fell in love with coaching then. After that, I took my classes, attended, got my training and became a certified coach. And I started coaching 15 years ago. And I coach because I believe that everyone deserves to feel aligned,
Mhm.
powerful, and whole at work or in their personal lives. And I work with people in all hierarchies, but my heart really beats stronger when I worked with early career professionals and women who are trying to reclaim their voice. And I think you can guess why, right? Because I was both of those things.
Yeah.
So I want to help people touch their lives and make a meaningful impact. And if I can like make a little difference, make anything easier, smoother, and quicker,
Mhm.
you know, I that is the biggest reward.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm curious about like so the embassy, right? So that the chapter that played your hero. Which chapter of your career were you? Were you a beginner? Like you were like half through your career?
No, I was quite early in my career,
Oh,
late 20s.
wow. Okay, so it was a good role model for you, right?
Oh,
So
yeah,
move
absolutely.
forward. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And today, actually, it inspired me. I was looking at the transcripts and my notes for today, and I said, she's my hero, but I'm not sure if I told her that. So I sent her a message. Well,
Uh-huh.
connected in social media, right? Because now they exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Him. And I said, you may not know it, but you're my hero, and thank you. So
Did she reply back or not yet?
no, yet.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But there's a time difference, so she hasn't seen it yet. But
Absolutely.
so thanks for inspiring that.
Oh my God, so cool. All right, but like I'm curious in terms of your story. So, and reading your bio, like all our listeners understood that you had a journey, international career, right, around the world. So, tell us about why did that happen? Like, why did you step up on an international career and went through different countries around the world, and now like had this bandwidth of cultural multicultural, right? So that is one of your assets.
When I was young, my biggest dream was to study in this prominent university, which was in a different town. And my father said, "Nope, you can't go. You're too young." So I was like, "Okay, he's asking me to stay home." And the thing I did was, the minute I graduated from college in our hometown and
Back in Turkey, right? So back in Turkey. So everybody
I
knows.
was able to like hold my own, I moved to Istanbul, where that university was, and
Okay.
started living, like I said, all my life I was into always trying to do something that was like expanding my boundaries. Working with different cultures, working with different people, it just excites me so much. And I was lucky enough that in tech, in my leadership role, there were times when I was in charge of like 10 countries. So I was traveling all of Europe and had the opportunity. So a part of it was me looking for opportunities to do that. And a part of it was I was given the opportunity because I was fortunate enough to work in companies that allowed me to do that. So it's kind of both looking for that in life, and then in return, life is offering it back at you.
But you once told me something like, in a span of, I don't know, a long time, do you live in different countries? Like, do you have that number? Like, I remember, like, but it was a crazy thing. So you were always in the move, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was traveling all the time. So actually, I only lived in Turkey and in the US. So I've got only like two homes. One is my born born country, and US is my chosen country. And but apart from that, I worked with 29 countries and cultures and traveled extensively, but always home base being in Istanbul and time. And while doing that, I had a son, and he was growing up, and I was always like feeling like, oh God, am I missing out? Am I a good mom? Am I good enough? Shall I just sacrifice this or that? I think every career woman knows what I've been through. It's that trying to get that balance of pursuing your dreams versus how you can be a good mom at the same time.
Oh my God, that's a very, very hot topic here at Work Life for Badasses, right? I think we can title that like how to manage being a mom that, you feel that you are full 100% and having a full career that you love, a passion, and you want to give 100%. So that's, I think, go as the next question, because I'm very curious to learn from you. How did you do it to balance both worlds, to thrive in your career as you were and be the mom like that you wanted to be?
I wanted to be, the biggest drive for me was I wanted to be an inspiration and a good role model. And I was fortunate enough to have a partner in life who really supported me. And we would sit down and have like these, you can even call them meetings, having a really serious discussion about, so next year, while I'm doing this MBA, I'm also looking after 16 countries, and we'll be traveling, and our son is only 1.5 years old. And he was like, I got your back. But in return, then in 2 years' time, when I do my own MBA and everything, maybe you'll just dial it down. it was all about, making sure that one of us was always present in his life constantly, and taking turns in terms of how rigidly, how vigorously we were pursuing our dreams, and sometimes just going on autopilot because our son needed us more than our career at that stage. Because during your career, there are times like when you're getting a promotion, expecting a change, when there's a big merger or there's a huge project you're working on. And believe me, I had so many of those. I needed some breather in space, in between. And during that times, I was more of a mom. So it's just holding those hats and switching between them constantly, and always having this big heartache carrying with you. Did I miss anything while I was traveling? You know, it's, but always asking yourself, am I a good enough mother? Have I really done enough? And I guess the answer is never yes to that. You always aspire for more. But there comes a moment when he can understand uh, what you've done in life. And he turns around and says, Mom, I'm so proud of you. That's priceless.
Oh my God. I think this is like a drop mic like moment here, because it's about like, it's not about avoiding the uncomfortable part, being away, and like of the motherhood, that the ideal is to be 100% with your kid, but it's about like making sure that he's okay, he's loved, and you are there. So it's not about avoiding that, but doing what you think is right, because the outcome is becoming that role model. And your son now is, how old is she?
Which one?
Is he 21? So he is 21 and says, Mom, I'm proud of you. That's huge. And I think, that's perhaps a reassurance to all our listeners that they can do hard things. And in these moments could be an inspiration, right? If that's the decision, right? If that's the decision to also as well build a career that, that has some travel and some time away from the children. That, yeah, I've been through the same in terms of traveling, so I fully understand where it to go along. So perfectly well. So good, so good. Because that's it. I think we are always avoiding this feeling of I'm guilt because I'm traveling next week. I have 2 days off, 3 days off, and now I'm leaving my son. And perhaps he's like sometimes he was like sick or something like that, right? But he was okay. He was with my mom. Like the best system that I had, like to provide him, right? So it's interesting, like how the things work. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, Pan.
And, I think owning your mistakes and learning from them is super important as well. Like I proudly say, I don't think anyone can say I didn't make any mistakes. I mean, who can really say that? Earlier in life, I made two big assumptions that turned out to be wrong, and I proudly hold them. One is fake until you make it. There is no such thing. Faking is failing. But you think that by putting on a face that doesn't belong to you, at least for a while, you keep on going. But unless it is aligned with your values, your personal beliefs, and unless there's authenticity, it doesn't go deep. So you start like second guessing yourself, you start like judging yourself, and then it starts to crumble. So I don't know who invented that concept of fake, fake till you make it. For me, it's like so not true. I tried, but for me, it failed. And the second thing is blend in. Especially when we're growing up, we think that being like the rest of the crew is the most important thing. But then later in life, we realize that our unique value proposition, where we stand, and who we are, that makes us maybe an outlier, needs to be celebrated, because that makes us rich and different and unique and powerful. But there were a lot of times when I was like trying to be like the other people, and going back to my story with the cultural attaché. Until that time, I was trying to be masculine and and blend in. But then I realized that I actually bring in a very unique perspective to that boardroom, because there are already 14 men. Why do they need another person who tells exactly what they're saying with the same tone and the same principle? They need the feminine approach. They need the warmth and the different perspective. So I think those two things, I own my mistakes, and, tried and failed. For me, that didn't work. Maybe it will work for someone else. But for me, those two things, those are my big mistakes that I own.
All right. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, great learnings. I would say more than mistakes, right? So thank you for sharing. Thank you. All right. So I'm curious to learn from you. How would you describe, if I ask you, what's the most badass thing that you've done, I don't know, in your life or in the last decade or something? I'm curious about like what was that? And walk us through the decision-making process.
It might sound like a cliche, but I guess the most badass thing I've done in the last decade is the decision of leaving corporate life behind and building my own company. Um, all my life, I worked in corporate world, my whole career. The smallest company I worked for was 6,500, and in Amazon it was 1.5 million. So,
1.5 million people, you said?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Amazon is that. Yeah, I know.
I didn't know it was that number.
Yeah, there are countries probably that are smaller than that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. So my idea of big and small is a little skewed, I know. So spreading my wings and going solo was difficult for two things. One, who am I if I'm not a VP at a X and X company? So that identity of like recreating, which I've done actually thanks to you with your help, creating this new identity as a entrepreneur, solopreneur, was the most badass thing I've done, because I came to realize, I think in a matter of a couple of months, which I believe is a big achievement, is I don't need any titles. Titles don't define me. I want to pursue my dream. And the second thing that was a big challenge for me was how can I sustain the same level of perfection or high standard, let me call it that, high standards that I'm used to in corporate life in my small business. So, it's a big ask. The bar is so high for me that where do you even draw the line? And is it really even fair to expect that from a small company? But yeah, for me, sky is always the limit. So those two things were like the big thing. And the way it's a great story, I think, how I decided to spread my wings. So I'm noodling on this idea, but I don't have the courage. And all my life, I've been a very spiritual person. And I believe that if you listen to it carefully, universe actually sends you some really clear, powerful messages. But they're hidden. And it's a great, game trying to see where they are. It's like Easter eggs hunting.
Yeah.
So my son, who's 21, like I said, was having a very bad day. This is like a year ago. And we sat down for about half an hour, and he didn't know, but I was coaching him. And within a matter of half an hour, his anxiety, his frustration, and his like feeling of lost came from 100 to nearly nothing. He left the room saying, "I've got this, Mom. I've got this." So he left.
Wow.
And I was feeling really good about myself and the fact that I was able to help him. But honestly, that wasn't the trigger. In a minute or so, he came back and he said, "You know what you've done with me? This is your calling. You have to do this for other people.
Wow.
This is what you should be doing. Why are you still in corporate life? Why don't you set up your own company?" And I knew it was the right time to do it because I felt like I was getting that message from the universe.
Wow.
Something
That's
big
huge. That's huge because it's your son,
it
right?
is
The
my
right
and
intention.
for those of you who have children, you know how critical they can be,
Yes.
especially sons. So it was a huge thing. And without any invitation, him just saying it like that was a very powerful moment for me. And that's how I decided to build Ascend. So he helped me find the name, the colors, the logo. He's been involved in everything. And so he feels very proud too.
So good. So I didn't know that particular part that he was involved on the creation of
Yeah,
our sound. Oh wow,
he
that's
is
amazing.
the kind of inspiration behind it.
Wow. Okay. That's a good trigger, like an inspiring one, right? So and then from there, so like we are on this badass moment that you consider like you're so proud of yourself. Tell us how was it going, or more about like the reinvention, because you talk about like the authentic i- identity, right? So titles don't matter anymore. And I think this is so important to everybody who's like listening to us and perhaps are having the same thoughts that you were having, right? So a long career, established career, an amazing career, and redefining success and doing what you're doing now. And perhaps don't have a son that's saying this, like dropping like these, you should do something like that. But tell us about like the reinvention process, how you are living it.
I was in HR because I love doing things with people and for people. And I set out to be an HR person to whom people run towards rather than run away from, because it's a difficult career, that one, in the sense that people see you more like a company police and they don't trust you or they're always suspicious. But I really set out to break everything about those beliefs, and I can proudly say that I did. I've heard countless times that, wow, I mean, I never thought I would meet an HR person like you. So I carry that spirit with me in the sense that I do everything with authenticity, with care, with love, with passion. And of course, I mean, I work for my skills and capabilities as well. So not dissing them. Of course, they are important too. But what I come to realize in life is that having a meaningful career is more than a paycheck. It's more than a title. It is alignment with your personal values. It's feeling proud of what you do and how you do it and with whom you do it. It's feeling creative, making an impact, and feeling you're expanding and growing every day, having a sense of purpose, and also showing up as your true self rather than hiding behind something or trying to be something. And when I found all those things, and they don't happen overnight, it takes a lot of time. So every coach is a coach. So I had my fair share of coaching and self-reflection and trying to reinvent myself, and which is still carry on because it's a lifelong journey. We learn something every day, right? So it is about finding something that is so aligned with your heart that you feel like as if you're not working a day,
Mhm.
and doing it at the right time. Because I think if I would have done it like 10 years ago, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready to leave corporate behind and to spread my wings and build my own company. There's a moment where everything clicks and you feel like, I think with my son coming back into the room and telling me something, I felt like there's this huge puzzle and there was only one piece missing. And he brought that to me and I put it in there and I could see the whole picture.
Wow.
So that alignment, that clarity, and that feeling of, yes, I'm ready for it, is what you need to have to be able to move with confidence and feeling that, yeah, I've got this. Because there are a lot of self-doubt moments and a lot of, questioning yourself and asking whether you're ready or not, and if you can do it, and will you find clients, and all sorts of questions as to why you shouldn't do it. But then comes a time when you're like, yeah, but I've got a lot of answers too. So it's just, if you're lucky enough to find people who can challenge you, who can help you, who can shed some light and guide you through your journey, I think it is easier to navigate that path.
Mm. Okay. Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. And now, like, I'm thinking that perhaps you are turning to the end of this podcast, and I'm curious to hear from you, right? And from badass to badass, right? Would you share to our listeners what would be the advice you'd share to our listeners so they feel empowered and confident to live their lives just like you did?
I want everyone, regardless of their gender, their age, their pronoun, to know that you don't have to shrink to be accepted. You are not too much. You are enough. And your voice belongs. So own it.
Mic drop. Own it. Own it. That's it. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Banu. Thank you so much. I think, coming to an end. So would you be okay to do these rapid fire type of questions? Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
But tell me, when you say rapid fire, does it mean only like one word answer, or do I give like a full sentence?
It's up to you. It's
Okay,
rapid
let's see.
fire. All right. So let's go. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Favorite superhero?
Ah, the Last Airbender, Ang,
Okay. All right.
because I don't know if you know it, but he's one of the airbenders, and he has the ability to shape air, water, earth, and fire, all of those elements. So he's the most powerful. But it's not just about being powerful. He's also balanced. And he's not talking about domination, but about harmony. So that's why I love him.
Wow, that's a line, like here we do work life for badasses. Let's go. Favorite place?
Aruba. My husband and I, we have this principle. There are so many beautiful places on earth to be seen. We never go to a place a second time. And we've been to Aruba 3 times by now. Reason being, I thought it was just going to be another Caribbean island, to be honest. But they call it one happy island. And exactly for that reason, it is the place of people where everybody on the island is happy. And they are authentically happy. And that energizes you and everything else about that beautiful place. So I love Aruba.
Wow, very good. Favorite music?
Huh. For me, it's about the vibe, but more about storytelling and lyrics. So I think I'll go with pop, with soul, with powerful storytelling.
Okay. All right. Favorite book?
Unless I'm reading for personal development, books are my getaways, my escape from reality. So I'd say Dan Brown, Da Vinci.
Okay, that's interesting.
Give me anything that is like mystery.
Yeah. Love it. Favorite dessert?
Oh, that's a no-brainer. I can eat a decadent chocolate cake, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can skip all the others and just eat that and survive on it if I could.
Oh boy, so cool. Thank you so much, Banu. Thank you so
Anna.
much.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we end, so tell us where we can find you.
I've got my company Ascend, so it's www.ascendcc.biz. I am on LinkedIn and in Instagram as well, and I'm sure they can find me through you too. So bring it on.
Yes, absolutely. And if they have connect with you, they can find your services, right?
Absolutely, would love that.
All right. So thank you so much. It was an honor, a pleasure to hear your story, and I'm sure our listeners are going to be inspired as well. Okay. Thank you.
Much.
Thank you for tuning in to AnnaJo Talks, Work Life for Badasses. I hope today's episode has inspired you to live life on your own terms. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are capable, and you can do hard things. See ya.
Practical strategies, empowering mindsets, and inspiring stories to live the life you want to lead on AnnaJo Talks, Work Life for Badasses.